More updates, more proof keeps coming in, and we love to be the first ones to try to share this with you. Of course, we did pick this up from Smoke Dog, so we're not the very first, but we're bringing this to you as quickly as we possibly could. And he's showing us the code. XRP replacing Swift. See the code. So it's kind of like we're in the Matrix, and we keep seeing in the green letters flying by XRP and Swift. And we want to bring this to you to show you, because this means trillions of dollars to XRP. This means your investments and your future is getting brighter and brighter as we bring this information. You don't want to miss it. Watch all the way to the end, and you'll enjoy it. First, let's look at BTCC and Decent Wallet. We'll be right back. How would you like to earn an extra $100, $200, or even $500 a day? Even more than that. I have many friends that are earning money every single day trading futures on BTCC. It's a simple process. And even if you don't want to learn how to trade, you can follow a trader on the site and let him do the trading for you, and you will earn according to his trades. Sometimes I follow All the Money by Q, and his trades earn me money. He has a 93% success rate, and he earns a great percentage. So even if you don't know how to trade, there's a way to make money. But I suggest learn how to trade, earn you some extra money on BTCC. It's easy. You do not have to KYC, and you don't have to use a virtual private network. This is a wonderful site. They've been around since 2011. Give them a shot. Also, when you earn that extra money, you can store that in your Decent Wallet. The Decent Wallet was not affected by the recent XRPL debacle, where the back door of many wallets was opened and there was a breach. So Decent Wallet was not affected by that. Decent Wallet is as safe as you keep your seed phrase. It's a wonderful product, and you can get the discount by using the link. It is the only way you can get an affiliate discount, is to use an affiliate link. So that link that's popping up at the right side of the screen is the one that you use. You will also get free shipping. Pick you up a Decent Wallet today. Secure your assets. If you don't have them stored in a wallet and sitting on an exchange, then you're at risk. So pick you one up today. Thanks for looking at that. Now, Max has worked hard to bring us this information. We're excited to show it to you, Max. Isn't it awesome what's coming out showing this? We're getting proof day after day after day of trillions of dollars coming into XRP, which just excites my bag. What about your bag?
I am more than excited about that, and my bag has already been packed with XRP, which I'm very glad that I reached some of my goals. But at the end of the day, it's not a measuring contest. Whatever you guys have, hey, that is so awesome. At the end of the day, I'm so glad to hear that people actually just have some Ripple XRP. But let's jump into this, because at the end of the day, let's solidify it once again that when it comes to XRP, it literally says XRP, not just Ripple. So obviously, we're talking about Smoke. He's killing it. Let's jump into it. So he has a few key things here. And again, I just want to point some of it out because, again, seeing is believing. So here it is. Let's get into it. For those who would like to see the lines of code linking XRP to ISO 222 and Swift, here's direct proof, according to Smoke. The first image shows RippleNet's payment schema directly referencing the ISO 222 external clearing system identification code list. Now, Will and I, just for a second, we brought you guys a video the other day showing a particular book. It was, I believe, insurance is what it mentioned and so on. And specifically, it mentioned Ripple XRP and some other key things. This is another update. So again, so many updates. But this time around, again, you'll see the code is what's the difference here. As we pull up more about this, this confirms that XRP's infrastructure is built around ISO 222 messaging standards. The second image is from R3 Corda's code base, importing modules like XRP payment, XRP settlement, and Swift service, as well as Swift payment status type, placing XRP and Swift functions in the same system. Now, I love how he says this, because this is something I always still say. Why does this all matter? Any token or company that wants to interact with the Swift network must be ISO 222 compliant. The code here proves XRP meets that standard. Because XRP is ISO 222 compliant, and those standards are what Swift uses, XRP, or Ripple here, can technically connect and settle directly with any Swift-enabled institution through the XRPL. It's in the code. Okay, so what does he have? Well, we're going to zoom in just a little bit more because we realize a lot of people watch with their cell phone. And as we do, here it is. How many times do I say boil it, mash it, stick it in stew? Well, there you go. You see what's written here and highlighted based off of some of the code, but you see the list on ISO 222 external clearing system identification 1 code list. And as we get further into it, let's pull up the other image that Smoke is talking about. And on this one, let's pull this up on the other screen as well. You see here, for example, this, and I'll zoom out just a tad to make it a little easier for you guys to see. On this one, it shows plain as day. You see here constant references from R3, but more importantly, you see Oracle services, XRP Oracle service, XRP payment, just like what Smoke said, XRP settlement, Swift service, token type. So now we have, for example, the messaging layer, which obviously Swift would be that order book. But in this case, ISO 222 replaces Swift's MT with what? MX. Swift introduced ISO 222 in 2004. Ripple also came out in 2004. And of course, to see the whole thing of R3 part of the mix is absolutely major. Now, before I kick it back over to Will, I want to point out some other things. So normally I don't get into this because people can have it back and forth. But this guy, no offense to him, is kind of being a little bit of a hot shot. He says, link the code so we can all see. Not a fan of screenshots, as I can replicate that myself. So then Smoke's like, okay, fine, replicate it yourself then. So then the guy basically said that he would. And so as a result, he did. And with that also said, they kind of have it back and forth, but nonetheless, the guy was able to do it. And of course, Smoke is like, well, whatever. Are you happy now? Like it says right here. And then he goes further into it. It's like, yeah, I just wish you could, share the link. It's a lot more credible, blah, blah, blah. So then somebody else calls him out and says, well, then where's your link? And then, of course, he posted his link. And if anything, I actually want to share that because it's kind of cool. It started off as a bad thing with a back and forth, but then you see from GitHub what he posted on his log about make XRP payment. And at the end of the day, this further solidifies somebody else showing you how it all flows through Ripple, through R3 Corda, and how, for example, you see pretty much the same stuff, XRP service, off-ledger payment, make off-ledger payments, default XRP fee, and the orchestration of how all this comes together. For example, 10,000 XRP, so on and so forth. So you guys are all more than welcome to check that out. It's on X if you want to verify that log for yourself. But at the end of the day, come on. We pretty much have brought the receipts, and then another person put this through his own test and also brought the receipts. Well, with that said, man, oh man, I think this is major because everybody's been wanting to see this for probably a good 3-4 years now, Mr. Will Fix.
Now's the time for us to whip out our links and compare them. I guess it's link comparison time, but I'll keep mine tucked away for now. But what I did notice, Max, in there, and sometimes, for me anyway, I'm more right-minded than left-minded. And sometimes when you're right-minded, some of the information just comes through and just gets dumped out because maybe you saw a squirrel over here or, you got distracted or your mind just drifted. But I'll tell you what I noticed that that's very powerful that's written in that code that is very pertinent to what we're seeing. They're not just included in for messaging, XRP and Ripple. They're not just included in as an option, but they're specifically included in as XRP payment and settlement. And what that means is also I noticed the fees. So the fees are being charged to XRP in that system. And then the payment, which is what? A purchase. So that would be somebody purchasing XRP in order to make a payment. They would have to have purchased. And then settlement. What is that? That's the other end, selling the XRP, which is liquidity. That's liquidity. And that purchasing, that buying and that selling is what drives price, because now you have the order books and you have what's available next. And these people that are using this system, and I know I've said this before, I said it 1,000 times, but sometimes we learn by repetition. It's these people that are purchasing amounts of XRP. They're indiscriminately buying as much as they need. They don't care about price. If you're moving $1 billion and you're using this system, and you purchase $1 billion worth of XRP, you don't care if it was $1 per XRP or $5 per XRP. So why does that matter? Well, it matters because if the price is on the increase and you're sitting there and you're watching the charts, you'll see these purchases and these sales going on of large amounts. And this system is set up to do purchasing and selling for the people to move the money just by them pushing a bunch of buttons. And it's not somebody shopping for price, because price doesn't matter. The fees matter, and the fees are where this thing really comes into competition with everybody else. Is the fees are almost nothing. But I didn't want to let that pass by, because it almost just went right over my head. And I was like, hold on a second, man. That's purchasing and selling built into the system. And so what does the interface look like? It may just have a spot that says, how much do you want to send? I'm sending, $1 billion. And you're sending it to who? Put the address. And then they just put the address. Seconds later, it's at that destination. And behind the scenes, this code has purchased XRP and sold XRP. Freaking amazing.
This is why I have you do these summaries, because you are like the best when it comes to these summaries. But I also leave everybody, you're welcome, man. Guys, hopefully you appreciate this material. And I'll always throw this out for a little fun. It's been a while since I said this, and that is, stop discriminating against the indiscriminate buyer, you dirty, rotten XRP army holder. That also said, that's your code phrase, the indiscriminate buyer. And we'll know that you listened to the entire outline on behalf of myself and the brother Will Fix. We're so glad that you guys tune in for this. We will see you on the next one.